There's a beautiful new moon on Thursday, July 28th at 1:54 p.m. Eastern. It trines the lucky and benevolent Jupiter, encouraging us to follow our passions and plant the seeds of romance, creativity, and joy. Let's take a closer look and break it down for all 12 signs. My name is Anastasia. I'm a traditional Western astrologer specializing in natal, relationship, and predictive readings. If you'd like to work with me, there's links down below, and I'm currently running a Leo season special. So if you are a Leo sun, you get 20% off for natal and solar return readings. There are coupon codes down there as well. And if you're new to my channel, press the like button, leave me a comment, and please subscribe. All of that helps my channel grow and helps me bring you more exciting videos. This video is sponsored by Keen.com, the service that connects you with talented tarot readers and psychics who can provide a deeper understanding of your issues and offer some solutions and advice. All you need to do is create an account and you will be able to choose from hundreds of readers online now. I have worked with Keen before and I have gotten a tarot reading from them, and it was very supportive, encouraging, and reassuring. So I definitely recommend you check them out, especially right now when, as a new customer, you can get your first 10 minutes for $1.99, and that is up to $70 in savings. You don't want to miss it. Go to trykeen.com/Anastasia to save big on your first reading. So new moon in Leo, very exciting. New moon is ruled by the sun in Leo, sun in rulership, so it's sort of very much self-contained. It happens at 5 degrees, 38 minutes of Leo. So if you have any planets from 0 until 10, Leo, Taurus, Scorpio, and Aquarius, it might be especially significant, especially beneficial for you, but we will all feel it based on the placement of this new moon in our chart. So new moon is the conjunction of the sun and the moon. The two come together to make a baby. But they kind of do, right? Like the moon reflects the light of the sun, it's feminine. The sun is that initial light, life-giving force. So when the two come together, it's the best time to manifest your dreams, your goals. Great time to write your intentions, to set off on a spiritual or physical, literal journey. And we always look at which planet rules the new moon, and here it's happening in Leo. Leo is ruled by the sun is in Leo. That's why I'm saying it's sort of like self-contained. It's powerful, strong. It's about your light. It's about getting in touch with your light. Wherever Leo is in your chart, Leo is the sign that burns brightly and passionately. It's that campfire that people gather around. If you have Leos in your life, they are generous, they are encouraging, they give you their time and energy. Of course, you know, they know who they are, so they also kind of like claim recognition. They want compliments in return. But that is the healthy expression of the sun, right? Like the sun shines and the sun wants to be seen, so do Leos. So here you are looking at where in your life do you deserve recognition without all the ifs and no's and buts. Where do you deserve to be seen? Where do you deserve to be more Leo-like? It doesn't have to be on a global level. There are plenty of Leos in Hollywood, but of course, if you want to be an actor or an actress, I wish you all of luck. It's the hardest job ever, I think. So a lot of admiration for actors. Of course, you know, like just hardest in terms of going through a lot of rejection. It's probably hard to compare the hardness of it once you are successful. But if you could set your self-doubt apart, and if you could claim something and be like, I am really good at making YouTube videos or anything else, whatever it is for you, letting go of limitations, shining your light, being proud of who you are, and taking that pride to the next level, ideally the level that can benefit other people and can like bring you some joy in the process, because Leo wants to play, right? Leo is a cat and cats like to play. So here it's like, how can you add more fun into your life? What makes you think of something that makes you inspired. Think of people that make you feel inspired. Who is this Leo in your life? Do you have, they don't have to be a Leo. Do you have this person in your life that you look up to and you kind of want to be more like them? Is there a movie that inspired you? Is there a hobby that you used to do that just made you feel so happy and secure and excited? So maybe it's looking at those things, right? Like things and people that inspire you and bring you joy, and bringing more of that. It is trining Jupiter, which is very exciting. Jupiter is the greater benefic in astrology. It's the astrological go ahead, good luck. Jupiter is stationing retrograde though. At the same time, I made a video dedicated to Jupiter retrograde. Check it out. But Jupiter is stationing retrograde, which means that yes, there's good luck to your projects. It's Jupiter in Aries. You're encouraged to take action. You're encouraged to be brave and take risks. But it's retrograde. It's literally standing still at the moment of new moon. So it's a sign that before you achieve your goals, you will have to do some rethinking. And you have to trust and allow time for things to develop. It's not the fastest moving new moon that you set intentions and immediately it shows up. Usually the new moon cycle lasts about 6 months until we get the full moon in Leo, which is not until Aquarius season. So you are, of course you can see the results sooner, but it's likely something that will have a few acts, and maybe around the full moon in Leo in late January, February, you'll see your accomplishments and you'll be able to sort of recognize them for what they are. The trine to Jupiter is also very much about believing in oneself, about having trust that the universe supports you and it is on your side. At the same time, we have Mercury in Leo squaring Uranus, which is interesting, which is like a mini retrograde. Uranus is disruptive, like a lightning strike. Mercury is your words, your communication, technology, messages you're sending. So there might be some disruptive messages, some enlightening interactions, sudden realizations, exciting news coming your way. And while that might feel frustrating, for example, something breaks, like your computer breaks and you decide to get another computer that will have more power and will allow you to create designs on it or edit video on it. So it's like a breakdown and a breakthrough. Choose the breakthrough way, don't break down. Or if you feel like breaking down, reach out for help and support from people. But it could be like disruptive, challenging, but also something that gives you more opportunities and like encourages growth and progress. And also Mercury is opposing Saturn at the same time, which is like another sign of needing to take things slow and needing to dedicate time to careful planning. Keep me updated on how this new moon plays out for you. Always happy, to hear if something happens that I mentioned, you want to go back to it and send me a comment afterwards. That's always great. But let's take it through 12 signs and see what one can expect this new moon to bring. For Aries rising, this new moon is happening in your 5th house, so you can expect to choose joy. You're choosing more fun in life. You might be, Jupiter is retrograding in your 1st house, so you might be reinventing yourself. It's retrograde, so perhaps the joy in your life requires going back to something. It might mean taking up an old hobby. It might mean bringing an idea from the past. It might mean connecting with like a person from the past, maybe a friend. You're trying to bring more, definitely like romance possibly in your life, more creativity, more excitement, especially if you haven't had a lot of it, because maybe you've been working extra hard, and that's part of Jupiter retrograde message, needing to slow down, needing to reevaluate, because maybe things you've been committing don't really make you happy. So great time to think about what does, and then begin a new creative undertaking. I'm seeing birds. Begin a new creative undertaking, begin a relationship that makes you feel happy and supported and secure. Reconnect with your kids or connect with your kids, start some kind of project together with them that, you know, brings you together, makes you feel excited, makes you feel happy. Be careful, as always, with like 5th house new moon of just like spending all your money and overindulging into something that may not be so good for you. But I think likely you're not gonna go too hard because it's, you know, there's some Saturnian energies with Mercury getting close to an opposition with Saturn. For Taurus rising, there's a new moon in the 4th house and it's trining Jupiter in the 12th. New moons in the 4th brings new beginnings in the home. It's in Leo, so possibly you're finding ways to shine at home, which could mean spending time with family. Maybe you're like a golden child in your family, or if you are, let me know. But maybe you're just connecting with your family and spending more time with them and having more joyful get-togethers at home. You might be moving. Jupiter trining this new moon from the 12th house makes me think of like moving to a foreign land, to a faraway place, moving on your own, maybe like setting intentions, because you're asking with this new moon, you're asking what is it that makes you feel happy and secure and appreciated and loved. And so you're more willing to make changes in the home, in your living situation, in your family dynamics. Maybe it's literally about starting a fun project at home or telling your family members to see you for who you are and appreciate you and respect you more, or sort of like finding joy in the home and with families likely. And if that requires you to release certain family dynamics or introduce better boundaries in your relationships with your family, then so be it. Definitely not one way that this new moon can show up. For Gemini rising, there's a new moon in the 3rd house and it's trining Jupiter in the 11th. So I feel like every time I film these videos, it gets dark and starts to rain, but we're still good for now. So new moon in the 3rd house makes you connect with your voice. Share something that you want to say. It could be through writing, it could be through podcasting, could be through going to your local community gathering and speaking up about an issue that you feel like is very significant. But it's kind of about like, take that microphone, step into the spotlight and share. Don't be afraid. It's trining Jupiter in the 11th. 11th house is social media, 11th house is group projects. So maybe it means working with other people. Maybe it means sharing your ideas on social media. 3rd house new moons could be about writing, could be about starting a writing project, could be about your skills and hobbies and things that make you feel joyful, possibly, especially, you know, this is like a Leo new moon. It's how can you be a lion in your self-expression. Starting a business a lot of times could be represented by the 3rd house new moon. Starting projects with siblings or sibling-like figures, maybe neighbors or friends. You might be investing into your, like, upgrading your daily life somehow, either by signing up to like take dance classes or buying technology. Maybe you're buying a literal microphone, maybe you're buying a camera. You might upgrade your equipment somehow to make you feel either more happy or get you to where you're trying to go. And maybe you're expressing yourself. Maybe you're also having a conversation with someone who you don't fully connect. It could be a sibling, but it's likely to go well. It's likely to be a more optimistic and positive energy because the new moon is aspecting Jupiter in the 11th house. So I think it definitely connects to your hopes and dreams for the future. Feels like take that action, right? If it's not coming to you, if you're trying for opportunities that depend on other people, maybe it's about you coming up with an opportunity and inviting those people to your opportunity party. Is that a thing? It should be a thing. So bringing people, taking action, being like, this is what I have to say, I have knowledge, I have experience, and even if you don't have 10 years of experience, it's still worth sharing, especially if you're like, if your project, if your knowledge somehow helps other people, because it's trining Jupiter in the 11th house. For Cancer rising, there's a new moon in the second house. Second house deals with money, so new beginnings when it comes to finances, coming up with new ideas, putting yourself into the spotlight, taking more central role professionally, asking for more responsibility, asking for more recognition. This is very supportive, especially because it's trining Jupiter in your 10th house. So second house is always money and self-worth. So two ways this can play out, right? Like this could be some new initiative at work. Don't expect it to necessarily happen immediately because Jupiter is stationing retrograde, and might be something that takes like up to 6 months to manifest. But new project at work, returns on investment, getting money from something that you've invested before could be very lovely for you, right? Because Saturn being in your 8th house may have affected your finances. So financial new beginnings from opportunities related to your career, taking action when it comes to your career, and of course, considering that 7th house, second house is also connected to self-worth. This might be something that is significant here too. We're still dealing with the trine to the 10th house, so maybe you're taking professional action that even possibly involves letting something go, or starting a business, or starting a secondary supplementary income, searching for secondary income, starting like some kind of project that brings you money. And possibly your self-worth grows with it. Your self-love and confidence gets a boost, and you sort of feel better about yourself. Making a big purchase is also a possibility here, or starting to save for a big purchase in order to, buy something that maybe makes you happy and allows you to shine that solar light. Thank you for being patient with me while I stay hydrated. For Leo rising, this is really exciting because it's happening in your first house, right? You only get one of those every year. So it's a big deal. It's important for your self-expression. It's important for your confidence. You're getting this big light shining on your identity. And it's trining Jupiter in the 9th house. So I wonder if there are some changes coming to your identity and self-expression that deal with education, learning and teaching, travel, like taking a job or starting a job that allows you to travel, spirituality, becoming maybe like a philosophical spiritual teacher, sharing your knowledge somehow. It's getting dark and I'm getting distracted, so forgive me. So reinvention of self, reinvention of your image, reinvention of your dreams, reinvention of the way you see yourself in the world, because that's part of the 9th house too. It's your place in the world, your guiding principles, your aspirations, and it deals with working, it doesn't always deal with working, but it deals with like expanding your world. So you're expanding your consciousness and you're expanding your life by, like I said, either traveling, moving away, taking a job that lets you travel. Maybe you're becoming a flight attendant or something like that exciting. Using an example of a real Leo rising, I know at least what she dreams about. So like something, something that you can take and change yourself, maybe just like trust that you can achieve whatever you want to achieve. Could be significant. Could be a great time to change your look, change your appearance. And if you're planning on it, let me know in the comments below. lovely time to invest into your health, into your well-being, connect with the lion within you, roar, express yourself, be loud, and just make sure you're not overworking yourself. Virgo rising is in for a quieter, more introspective new moon since it's happening in your 12th house. Doesn't mean you're not going to get a little bit of that Leo light. You totally can, but 12th house deals with being on your own, so you might naturally feel like a pull to spend some time alone. It deals with letting things go and, kind of cleansing and healing and spirituality. So it could be a lovely time to introduce some kind of spiritual practice in your life. It is connecting, trining Jupiter in the 8th, so even more energy goes to therapy and mental well-being and transforming all the negative tendencies. This could be very wonderful for you to start talking better to yourself, to create a practice like you start to meditate every day, for example. It doesn't have to be like an hour-long meditation, but just like one little seed of taking care of yourself, taking care of your well-being that will bloom and flourish, and in the next 6 months you can see yourself becoming a better friend to yourself. It could mean, like I said, it's not just that introspective energy, because 12th house is just like things hidden, because you are getting ready for Virgo season that is gonna come next, right? Like on August 22nd. And as you are getting ready for it, you might be in a more quiet, working behind the scenes mode. So this could be very great for your imagination, for writing something, coming up with projects, designing something behind the scenes, so that when next month we have a new moon in Virgo, you get a chance to present those ideas. And doing work that helps other people. A lot of times you see with the 12th house strong energies, people also choose to share their wisdom, choose to share their light with those misfortunate, misunderstood, isolated. So this could be a lovely opportunity for you to give back somehow, either through volunteer work or making a donation, or even, giving like free, sharing some of your work for free, maybe with people who can really use it. And that will allow you to get the recognition and to shine some bright light of Leo, and still, basically take advantage of that. For Libra risings, there's a new moon in the 11th house. And 11th house is the place of social media. It's the place of friendships and groups and alliances. Anyone who supports your work, anyone you call a fan, is in the 11th house. And this is a great time to go out there and speak in front of a lot of people. Possibly if you need to do something professionally, if you've always wanted to speak at a conference, maybe you take action and you reach out to people who host that conference. Don't hesitate to take action. Like it's trining Jupiter in the 7th house, so it's a very social new moon for you. It's very much about joining forces, asking your friends for opportunities. They might bring you opportunities. This is like, 7th house deals with business, and maybe you're starting a business with a friend. Maybe you're pursuing your dreams together with a friend and starting some kind of like significant collaboration. 7th house is relationships, so you may also notice or have one of your friendships transition and turn into a relationship. And maybe it's romantic, but maybe it's that like business partnership that is also exciting. New friendships, new groups of people that you might be joining. Like, let's say you are working out a lot and you decide that you want to hang out with people who run, and you join a running club. This could be very exciting for you, I think. And just like allowing yourself to dream, not listening to the inner voice that tells you that maybe you're not good enough, maybe you don't know enough, maybe you are not, beautiful enough. Like all of the negative things, like let them show up and then just go away. That's how they teach meditation, actually, a lot of times. Like, you can't stop thoughts. You can't completely, of course, you can do your best to rewire your brain, but like the negative thoughts might still pop up once in a while. But try to maybe replace them or follow them by positive thoughts, and don't hold on to them. Just like take a leap, take a step, and be the brightest, shiniest self you can be, and surround yourself with people who support you and admire your work. Scorpio rising gets a really exciting energy in the house of career. There's a new moon in your 10th house, which might bring new beginnings professionally. It might take a while to fully flesh out and manifest because it's trining Jupiter, stationary retrograde at the time in your 6th house, but very much work, right? Like work that could be beneficial for you. It could be like, yes, you get a great opportunity and you can make more money, but it can also be something where like maybe you take a step back. Maybe you decide to work a little bit less. Maybe you decide to go back to school. Maybe you decide to study health or legal or like some kind of like veterinarian, go to veterinarian school because that's like 6th house matters. You might decide to make a change in your career. And it's also very much like Leo energy is confident and charming and authoritative in a lot of ways. So how can you take more authoritative, more center stage professionally? How can you use your gifts and your talents and show up and be like, this is me, pay me accordingly? Or, you know, how can you start? Maybe this is about starting a business. Maybe it's about taking on a new role professionally, like becoming more creative, or like starting a business with something that is just you and you have full control over. Because Scorpio risings professionally can really be recognized and visible, especially if your midheaven is in Leo in the 10th house. It's different if it's in Virgo in the 11th or if it's in Cancer in the 9th. And I use whole sign. But you do want recognition for work, and how can you get some without second guessing yourself, without doubting yourself, without questioning yourself? And maybe it's a longer journey, maybe it's going to take you some time, and maybe it will require you to create opportunities for yourself, but it's all possible. And you know, like I said, I can definitely see it being both. You take on a role that requires working more, or the opposite, you sort of decide to step away from working too hard and focus on something else. For Sagittarius rising, there's a new moon in the 9th house, trining Jupiter in the 5th. Are you dating someone who's foreign? Definitely a possibility here. New moons in the 9th house want to expand your world. They want to bring new professional opportunities, maybe new educational opportunities, maybe you want to travel. Maybe it's as, you know, small as like you're starting to watch a YouTube channel that teaches how to cook the best chicken, and then you're sort of like you're expanding your mind, right? But definitely something new in the sector of education. You might take on a job that is teaching, or you might become a teacher, even if it's not literal as like you work at a university and you have a classroom full of people. Maybe you just take on a role professionally that lets you share wisdom, share knowledge. You're a Sag, right? You want to share wisdom and knowledge. Traveling, yeah, like going on a trip, moving somewhere, publishing your work, presenting your work in front of a lot of people, starting a writing project are all possibilities here. Going through a mindset change. Jupiter is stationing retrograde in your 5th house. It's going to be there for a while. Maybe you're changing your attitude towards what you once thought was very solid. Like, let's say you never wanted to hire a nanny, and now you realize that in order to have some freedom and to be able to enjoy life and to be a good parent, maybe it's good for you to hire a nanny, or whatever it might be for you. But I can totally, like I said, I can totally see dating someone foreign, starting a relationship with someone foreign, starting a long distance relationship. Be careful if it's not something that you want. And possibly Could be connected to children too. Maybe the changes that you're making are in part inspired by something that your child is going through, or something that you need to do in order to kind of take care of your child and put them in better school, for example. But I would think of what is it that you want to tell to the world, what is it that you're really good at and you can teach people, or you can encourage people, inspire them, and just follow that. Capricorn rising, get a new moon in the 8th house and trining Jupiter in the 4th. So here we get the house of shared resources, debts, taxes, inheritance, connected to your house of home and family. And there is a lovely flow between the two. There is money might be coming from family, money might be going into your house if you're getting a mortgage. It's not necessarily the fastest exchange because Jupiter is stationary retrograde, so maybe you are applying for a mortgage, but it's going to take some time. It's not going to be immediate. Or, you know, you're dealing with the matters connected to an inheritance, and it's sort of like is very slow and requires a lot of paperwork, a lot of dealing with bureaucracy and stuff like that. So don't be impatient if things don't move as quickly as you'd like them to move. There might be new beginnings when it comes to joining forces with other people, starting a project with other people, asking other people for support, asking them for ideas, for finances, for connections. This could be a great time. Don't go at things alone. You can actually benefit from working with other people. You might be revising agreements that exist in your relationships and partnerships. This could be like a romantic relationship, maybe. And it's interesting because it connects to the 4th house. So maybe you're moving in with your partner, or you are dealing with matters related to the home that move your relationship to another level. Let me know if that's the case in the comments below. Significant healing can also come with this new moon, because you are encouraged with this new moon to value yourself. You are encouraged to transform any fears that you have, any self-doubt that you have, and trust that the light that you have within is so much more than your past, so much more than your insecurities, so much more than the thoughts in your head. And find that inner confidence, find that healing. Could be lovely to start therapy. It could be lovely to even connect with certain like esoteric things like astrology, tarot, anything that makes you understand yourself better. For Aqua rising, this is also quite exciting, similarly to Leo rising, but very differently, because for Aqua risings, this new moon is happening in the 7th house, and it's trining Jupiter in the 3rd. So there is new romantic beginnings. You might start a new relationship, or you might move your existing relationship to a new level, maybe a new level of commitment. Once in a while, with a new moon in the 7th house, you might end a relationship, but it's not likely to be sad. It's likely to be like, okay, this, you know, let's just move on already, and woohoo, we're done. So maybe, you know, maybe like completing a relationship, but most likely there's like excitement and new energy. Always a little bit of like, be careful when it comes to losing yourself in a relationship or sacrificing your needs for that relationship, because maybe there's a new person coming into your life and they seem so great and you temporarily forget about your personal goals. If you're not into dating, you're not looking at the moment, there could be new beginnings in your partnerships and relationships that maybe are kind of like marriage-like. You know, people sometimes have like a work wife, a work husband. Maybe your relationship moves to a new level. Starting a business is a possibility, because it connects Jupiter in the 3rd house, and 3rd house is very much like taking your skills, building a schedule, figuring out the steps, writing a to-do list, and like taking action. It's also the house of skills and hobbies. So maybe you're joining forces with someone surrounding your skills and hobbies. You might start a business with your sibling, because third house deals with siblings, or your neighbor, or just go on some kind of like joint venture together. And romantically, dating someone who's your neighbor, or dating someone in your neighborhood, meeting someone in your neighborhood is a possibility too. Your partner might be going through new beginnings, and your partner might be getting a chance to step into the light and enjoy the bounty, the gifts of this new moon. So it can definitely bring like new beginnings romantically through them getting new beginnings in their life. And finally, for Pisces rising, there's a new moon in the 6th house, trining Jupiter in the 2nd house. New moons in the 6th house make you revisit your health and your diet and your daily life. Maybe take a look at how you move through your daily life. Are there certain time wasters? Are there certain habits? Are you not eating as well as you should? Or is your diet bringing you joy? Are you sort of just eating for sustenance and not so much enjoying it? So there might be lovely changes and improvements you can make to your diet and to your well-being. So definitely look at that. The trine to Jupiter in the 2nd house makes me think about work and new beginnings professionally, because 6th house is like the place in which we commit to something and we go hard at it and we overcome difficulties and we deal with struggles sometimes, but we're very committed. So there might even be a new beginning professionally. Like you might start some kind of project, because it trines Jupiter in the 2nd house. Jupiter is retrograde, so it's likely to bring you financial gains, but not immediate financial gains. Like if you watch my Jupiter retrograde video, you'll gain more insight about what this might mean for you. But like, you know, you might have to invest into something. You might have to spend money on something first before you make money. But definitely great possibilities for taking better care of yourself, prioritizing something that requires a lot of commitment but makes you happy, makes you feel more worthy. And look at all of the bad habits or like negative habits that you have and make like one change. Love yourself more. I think it's very much like Leo, confidence, brightness. Make a change that will make you feel in the long run a lot more secure and a lot more happy. This is it. We made a full circle, all 12 signs. Thank you for sticking around. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments below and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.